Hometown of Talida. This is my hometown at Talida. This is my sister Shalmarie Nikolai with her son Blake Matthew Nikolai, saying Tsamai means hello. They're standing at the airport waiting for the plane to come in and land. The plane comes from all the way from McGrath, which is an hour ride. The pilot's name is Barney and flies for Magnuson Airways. The gas comes from Crowley at McGrath. This is Adam Nikolai and Jimmy Nikolai pumping gas after it landed into 15-gallon containers. All the gas they're pumping is about 100 gallons and 50 gallons per boat. After they're done pumping all the gas, they close it up and make sure they're not leaking and the caps is closed. Then put it in the trailer and bring it to the boats. After this is the scenery of Talida and some of the houses and looking downtown. That is the river they came up from, and that's looking upriver from Talida. And the mountain in the background is Talida Mountain. If you go downriver about 11 hours, you'll hit Nikolai. 2 hours down the river, you'll hit McKinley Fork. This is looking down the road again towards Stephen Nikolai Sr.'s house. And the trail you see there is Nikolai Trail in the winter. The only way to get up to Talida is by boat or by plane. It's a much better ride by boat, I figure. This is looking uptown my grandma's Barbara's house. This is upriver from Talida. It is called High Power Creek. This is where we have our cabin, and this is above our cabin. It's about an hour drive above Talida to our cabin. Where they're going is up to an eddy where they go grayling fishing, which is about 45 minutes above our cabin at High Power Creek. The ducks you see is fish ducks, and they do have trouble taking off, but they could fly very well, and they do dive in the water. And you could drive after them with a boat as they try to take off, and which is a lot of fun. Andre is watching the river and trying to read the channel. This is a fish net in front of our cabin at High Power Creek. The water is very clear and a lot of multiple fish around. Fish that they get in the fish net is red salmon, dog salmon, pike, and whitefish. The fish they have on a rod and reel is a red salmon, and they are easy to get. After they get them, they club them, cut it open and gut it, then hang it up and smoke them and make ziguini out of them. It is a lot of fun getting red salmon by rod and reel. This is Andre taking out a whitefish from the fish net. After that is a sucker fish, which they do not keep, only some for dogs. The reason why they don't keep sucker fish is that they have a lot of bones. They do a lot of fishing by rod and reel. They do get a whole lot of red salmon. Dog salmon once in a while, because it's rare to get a dog salmon by rod and reel, for they don't bite hooks unlike red salmons. Graylings and pikes. This is upriver from our cabin at High Power Creek. There is an eddy where to go grayling fishing at. A lot of graylings in there and have to be careful. Therefore is a lot of bears around. This is Andre driving the boat for the first time, and Jimmy Nikolai is showing him how to work the controls, throttle, and steering left and right. Andre drove the boat all the way to High Power Creek cabin. That is the first time ever driving a boat, and he had a lot of fun, and Jimmy was right there helping him, making sure everything is running well. Andre is focused on the river, watching out for snags. After After they're done fishing at high power, they are going back to Talida with the fish in the tub of what they got. As they were driving back to Talida, a bend above Talida, they looked up and they seen a flock of dash flying sky high. And they're hard to get at times 'cause they're too high. This is Talida looking from upriver. The bank is very high, and there are some of the houses that is near the bank. Where they park boats is right below the village. This is Jean-Marie tying up the boat. After they came from high power, it rained, and a rainbow came out, and the sun was shining. This is looking inside Barbara's house. There is log cabins in Talida. It's a tradition. They have wood stoves to heat up the house and kettles on top of the stoves to heat up water. This is what some of the houses look like inside. Oven shelves. This is downriver from Talida, and this is where it's stuck and hard to read the channel because of shallow water. When you're in water like this, it's good to have a paddle so you could push your way to deeper water. After they got in deeper water, Jimmy started up the motor again and idled for a little bit to see if it was safe enough to open up the throttle a little bit more. The river is very shallow, and always keep a good eye out. My cousin Adam on top of the bow. This is McKinley Fork, my auntie Heldina's 2-story cabin. And around the cabin is birch trees, which is a good fire break for forest fires. Some of the birch trees around the cabin could see how tall they are and bushy on the top. This is where they got another moose, and they had to paddle to it because it was shallow water. This is Stephen Sr. driving the boat back to Nikolai. After 11 hours of driving, they reached their destination at Nikolai, Alaska. If the weather condition is good and no motor trouble, you'll make it from Talida to Nikolai in approximately 11 hours. This is looking at downtown Nikolai from the river, and it is in the fall time. And that's all for the movie. Hope you enjoyed it. The end.